maybe it's shorter, maybe it's 10, but like to get from a point where we're wearing glasses, like I'm wearing glasses now, and I can just like, my SMSs are coming in front of my face and like a name is hovering over you and some kind of cool app that I haven't thought of is distracting me from this conversation.
Yep.
Like your watch is now. To get from there to there needs to be some kind of, either a massive company needs to do it like Apple and willing to invest. They're probably already invested for 10 years and they got to keep investing for another 10 years before it turns a profit, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah. The interesting problem they're going to have is that everyone wanted the iPhone immediately. I think the iPad was slightly different, but still a lot of people wanted that and it flew off the shelves and what have you. I think one thing that they're potentially trying to do, this is just me putting myself in the brain of like Apple marketing and executive sort of level stuff, is like they probably see value in like, we're just going to completely own this space in the mind of like normies.
Yeah.
Because the average person probably doesn't know what it, even though Meta has put a fuckload of effort into it, has no idea what an Oculus is.
There's absolutely no chance in any world that my mum buys an Oculus.
Yeah.
However, there is a percentage, it's less than 50%, far less, but there is a percentage chance that she buys an Apple VR in
it's probably
in 10 years' time.
the same for my parents. Again, low chance, but 0% chance they would ever buy. There's a whole audience segment of people who have iPhones who could probably be coaxed into trying this, assuming, of course, that they have the disposable income.
Yeah, and their mates use it.
Yeah. So that to me is the biggest gamble. And before we were talking about the fact that, you know, this goes back to very early computing era where to buy a family computer like a Mac or a new PC, whatever, in the early days was probably going to cost you a few $1,000s and was like a relatively big expenditure. In the same way that like for a long time, it's only in recent years that TVs have become really cheap.
Yeah.
It used to be that like buying a family TV was like buying a fucking car.
Well, yeah,
not much.
Man,
not quite that expensive, but you know, it was a big investment.
But people point back, the original Mac was in today's money like $7,500.
Yeah,
for like a Mac.
Totally. So he's putting himself in back that era, but the leap from not having a home computer to having a home computer, massive, and the obvious like utility of that was huge. The leap from having a smartphone, which does everything you would ever want to do.
Yeah.
The smartphone is incredible. And like the innovations that are happening elsewhere in the tech world, like, I don't know, AI and stuff, are all things you can access from the devices you already have.
Yeah.
To being like, the next innovation is you've got to put this fucking headset on.
Yeah, they cost $5,000.
They cost $5,000.
Yeah.
And the end result is that you do all the things you do currently, but potentially in a more immersive way.
Yeah, you get an extra couple monitors.
You get a couple extra monitors. You get to read your ebooks as like on like a
like
cinema.
Star Wars font.
Yeah, scroll. That could be a killer app. That's like that to me. That to me has like the lightsaber app and like the beer app vibes from early iPhone.
Yeah.
If you can sit back and read your Kindle books as like the Star Wars crawl, $1.19. That app. It kills.
That's okay. Well, we'll get onto that. There is one thing that earlier I said there's two things I still want to talk about. Number 2 is...
Oh, you go back to your list.
I'm going back to my list.
You're learning and growing.
I'm learning and growing. I actually have 3 things. Okay, I'm going to move what I was going to say for number 2 to number 3.
Okay, you better get to 3.
I've got a new number 2.
All right.
And new number 2 is, one, adoption is that businesses genuinely are like, we're going in on remote. We have remote workers, but you have to have one. We're buying one for you. Then that trickles down to like, we're hiring. The conditions are this, that, and the other, and you have to have a VR because we do all of our meetings in Oculus or something. So some weird kind of businesses force it because they recognize that they can make their workers more productive, or managers feel like more of a sense of control or whatever.
Yep.
Something like that. So I wonder what went on in that episode. Sounds intriguing.
Oh, fuck. It sounded very interesting.
Like what was all that stuff about the, tech and all that?
I'm interested in learning more.
Well, you can, James.
Simply how much would that set me back? Probably $50 a month.
$7 PPP.
My God. All right. Well, I would be mad not to do it. You would be mad not to do it.
Either search Downround Substack on Google. That's probably what you're going to do, let's be honest. Or downround.net if you like to type things out.
Yep. Or downround.substack.com if you're the type who likes, I don't know, aligning with Substack's brand incentives.
Or like if you're in your podcast app, presumably in the description we will have added a link.
It's right there for you. It's literally right there for you.
Sign up, 2 episodes a week. And it's all the hard stuff when it comes into like the premium episode. It's the hard stuff.
It's really inside baseball stuff. Don't you worry.